wraparound pendant kits that are now available. This kit has everything you need to make two of the most popular wraparound pendants. It's got the background piece, the middle sun moon piece, the wraparound borders, and also a decal. Gives you 4 choices of silhouettes to put in front of the sun moon. Also, we've got the pieces available in 6-packs. We've got border pieces, and we've got sun moons, and these are available, like I say, in 6 pieces where you actually cut everything out yourself and put them together, and it allows you to do all the many different designs that you saw in the opening. So with that, let's start on how we're going to put this together and make it look like a fine piece of jewelry. Well, the first step is, after we remove the 3 pieces from the package, is we want to grind the edges off the border piece and the sun moon design. And we'll do that now. I'll show you how we do that. You just want to grind it off about this much. Make sure it's round. And now we'll do the sun moon the same way. So you just want to round the edge off, all 4 sides. Okay, now the back piece, all we want to do is take the edge off the dichro. So we hold this up almost straight up, just give it like that on all 4 edges, and that removes just a little bit of dichro around the edge. And what that does is it helps prevent the dichro from creeping up around the edge when you fuse the pendant. But also notice that we're not grinding the tips off of this. We are leaving it square. This will help the pendant hold its shape and also fill in the corners so you don't have a kind of a see-through corner. So it's very important to leave those corners square like that. Okay, let's clean these pieces up and get them over to the table and start putting the decals on and putting them together. Okay, now that we got our pieces ground, we're ready to put the decal on the sun moon piece. And before we do that, I want to kind of talk about the tools that you're going to need. Here we've got a good pair of scissors, some tweezers, a bowl of distilled water. Here's my brush and clarifier right here. This is the clarifier. This is the way it comes right here in a bottle like that. That's about like a lifetime supply. Good stuff. You should always have it if you're going to be a fuser. And then alcohol to clean the glass. And here we've got our clean pieces of glass, and we're going to apply the decal to this sun moon piece right here. The decal's going right on that piece on the opposite side of the dichro. The dichro side is down on this piece right here. So here's the decal. I think we're going to do the bird. So remove the wax paper barrier. Then you cut it out. I like to cut part of the stem off because I know it's going to go over to one side. So I'm cutting it out. You want to stay fairly close to the decal. I'd say a 1/16 of an inch away. That way if you ever want to do a pendant where you're adding other decals, you've got room to scooch them up next to one another. There are some times where I use 2 or 3 different types of decals on one pendant. Okay, so this is cut out. Now we put it into the water. You want to have it face up, so if it flips over like that, you just flip it up that way. In about 30 seconds, that'll be ready to apply. So what we're going to do is put it on the back side, the non-dichro side of this, and then we're going to glue these 2 pieces together. Here's our background piece. That happens to be blue, yellow blue, on a thin rolled, smooth rolled machine black, and that'll go together like this. So I think it's ready, and the way you'll know it's ready, when you grab it out of the water, if the decal slides around on the paper, see how it's doing right there? It's sliding around on the paper, you know it's ready. So you move it over to one side, take your tweezers, and I'm not going to do this upside down, so I'll flip this around. And you put the decal where you want. And notice how it's still wet. You can move it around to get it in position. It's got a layer of water underneath there, so you can move it all around. So I'm going to want it about right there. Now to check that out, I take my piece of the border piece and I hold it over there to make sure it's in the position that I want it to be. And I hold the dichro side up on this border piece. That's how you're going to fuse it, the dichro side up. So that looks like it's just about in the right spot. So now what you do is you take your tweezers, hold it in place right there, and you take this paper towel and you blot the water. Notice I'm doing a rolling motion. I'm not really scooting the decal around, I'm just rolling back and forth to get the water out from underneath it. So once it's in place, I'll do it in a couple of spots. Now this is ready to tack fuse to this bottom piece. And the way you do that, you take some of your Clearfire, get a drop, put it on there, take this piece, glue it on there. You want to make sure that the edges are lined up exactly. We talked about precision cutting in another video. I suggest you look at it because you want these to be exact. So those are all lined up. Those edges are lined up exactly. Okay, and you let that dry, and then when it's dry, you tack fire it at 1325 degrees for about a minute. And what you're doing is you're going to get to the point where all the binders are burnt out and these two pieces are actually stuck together. Now you don't want to tack fire it to the point where it starts rounding off the edges of this glass. That will trap air between the border piece and these two pieces, and that's not what you want. You want to get rid of the bubbles. So you tack fire it just up to 1325. The edges do not round, but it sticks together. The decal becomes permanent. Okay, here we are. Here's the piece that has been tack fired at 1325 for 1 minute. You'll notice that the decals become permanent. You can't rub it off. It's part of the glass now. It's not quite glossy yet, but it is affixed to the glass, and it is being the glass itself. It is affixed on there, and it will not come off. And it's all part of the piece now. This is all stuck together. So you got the one piece there. Now this next part is fairly critical. So what we do is we have our border piece, and we put that dichro side down so it'll be dichro side up when we assemble it. We're actually assembling this upside down. So we take this piece and put it on your border piece, and you want to get it exactly centered in the middle of the border piece. And you take your Thompson Clearfire with the supple sable hair brush and put a drop right there and let it kind of just wick underneath, and that will just hold it right in place. You let that dry, and that takes a few hours for that to dry. We have one here that's already been dried. So it dries like that. You can take it and set it on your kiln shelf like that, and it's ready to be fired. And this you'll want to fire at 1400 degrees for about 8 minutes, just until the edges fold over and come all the way down. You don't want to blob them out or anything like that, which shouldn't happen because you're stacked at about 6 millimeters in depth right there. But the idea is just to keep its shape, let the edges come down, and that should happen if your kiln's accurate at 1400 degrees for about 8 minutes or so. So once that's done, you'll have something that looks like this, and all you need to do is put a bail on that, and you have a beautiful finished piece of jewelry that you'll just be proud to show anybody. Well, that's it. Thank you and happy fusing.